Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of LTC. We're having a great time here. We're just about to get into Redemption Bracket, which sounds like it has some pretty high stakes for later this afternoon. I'm Lily, obviously, if you didn't know. I'm joined here with the absolutely lovely Harmony. Harmony, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty okay. I got off work. That's about it.
Beautiful.
I'm Fusion.
Obviously,
Hi.
the lovely Fusion. How are you doing today? You got
I'm
some
doing
breakfast?
great. I got some breakfast.
Yeah?
I got my coffee. It's 10 a.m. I'm doing my best. I hope you're doing your best as well.
Yeah, it's about all we can ask
It's
for.
early, and later today we're going to have, we're both in our top 16 as well. So friends now, possibly enemies later.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. We may not meet each other.
Frenemies?
Frenemies?
Can we be frenemies?
We can be frenemies.
Okay, I think we can be frenemies. I hope y'all are doing well at home, too. I don't know if any of you had the LAN experience of staying up all night and then getting up really early to be here for 10 a.m. as well, but hopefully you didn't and got some good rest. Fingers crossed. But, I mean, if you are here super early on no sleep, we'll try to entertain you for a little bit.
Yeah, everyone's doing their best at LANs. They want to stay up late and hang with people, but you also want to be up for 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Splatoon bracket sometimes. But I hope everyone who's up this early along with us is going to have a good time. We're going to be casting Redemption, 2 rounds of Redemption, and then Silver Bracket Final. Silver Bracket is all the teams that did not make Top Cut or Redemption will be fighting out for an art prize. And yeah, the first match we're gonna be seeing today is SDPU and Nightbreak. And SDPU is a college team, I believe. Is it San Diego Pacific University? I think
Something like that?
something like that. I wish I had more than the acronym, but yeah, Len, Pigment, Jorian, and Tiger on that side. I'm always happy to see Len, who's a fellow Blaster player, like Vanilla Blaster. There's like 3 of us, and we're all at this LAN.
Yeah. There's been some really great Blaster plays going on this weekend, too. It's been fantastic to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Pigment, part of Team Photic Zone. Jorian, part of Outcast Ninjas, also a TO, and Tiger, part of KO Calamari. And Tiger's just extremely nice. We got to meet him yesterday.
Yeah, he's lovely. And then on top of that, we're also watching Nightbreak, which is actually a mashup of 2 other collegiate teams. So we've got a little bit of a college face-off here. Nightbreak, of course, being a combination of Nightfall and Daybreak, both teams from Austin.
Yeah.
From UT Austin. So they mashed up for this event, and I mean, so far they've been doing quite well. And, I mean, if anyone follows the CCA League, they should be familiar with these folks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been so many college teams recently. It's kind of, it's kind of always surprised me because I ended up graduating before all this college team stuff started, and you're like, there's no way there's this many people who play Splatoon at my college, and apparently these teams, like especially, the Purdue, just like has 10, 15 plus people. They have a billion teams, and everyone's coming out of the woodwork, and now all these other colleges, especially not even like the biggest colleges out there, still have tons of Splatoon players. So
yeah, it's absolutely
everyone's
wild.
enjoying it.
And I mean, seeing like things like the CCA League and like all these collegiate teams build up and play is just so fun. It's definitely an experience I didn't have in college. My college was way too small for anything like that, but it's just so exciting. I don't know if y'all can hear the crowd right now, but there's some matches getting going over on the right side of the room now, and people are getting pretty rowdy. Love to hear it. It's really interesting to be in our own room this year, but to still have all this noise. Like, people were wondering if it would be really quiet, and of course they should have known better.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's kind of nice to be able to be like in a separate room from Smash. Even though people don't, just come over and watch from Smash as much anymore. It feels a lot more like of a close experience for us. Everyone's interacting with each other. People are staying close. If people are talking, it's about Splatoon. Everyone's having a great time. And there's just like such a concentration of cool people. It's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's still some Smashers wandering over.
Yes,
the Smash room,
that's
luckily,
true.
is just across the hall from us. So it's super easy for them to come in and just check things out. And there's still been quite a few coming through. And actually, we have a couple Smash players, even some Smash teams playing, which is really exciting. Last year, we met this guy, super friendly, incredibly tall, very fashionable. And this year, he's actually playing on a team, which is just so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we chatted with him a bunch last year just because we kept running into him, and he was super nice. And I guess we convinced him to give it a try. So.
Was that Low Tide?
Yeah, at LTC
Cool.
last year. Yeah, it was exciting.
I remember at Shine, even there were like 2 Smash teams that,
Right.
or 2 teams of players from Smash who just wanted to try it out.
It's just so cool.
Yeah, honestly, just I love Splatoon.
I love Splatoon.
Squid Game fun.
And just like the community and everyone coming in through. It's just so exciting. I did hear a sound of
Ding,
everyone
ding.
readying up, so it does sound like we're getting right into the games. I guess we should probably talk about that part instead of the LAN part, huh?
Yeah, we're going to be hopping into round 1 of Redemption Pools, or Redemption Brackets, and we're going to be seeing an Ink Brush on one side, or Octobrush, sorry, as well as the Blaster and 52 on the other side. Interesting mixes on both sides here. Both fairly, the Nightbreak team, fairly balanced team composition, a little bit more defensive with that extra Zipcaster as well. Len trying to make some aggression happen on the full aggro team coming out from Nightbreak to get 1 pick, and that's going to be huge and opening the way for SDPU to get this first hold.
Yeah, Nightbreak, it looks like, is going to be playing a lot more defensively. They do have that Octobrush to try to open things up for them with the Zipcaster and the flanks coming in through. Not quite able to get a pick, but still going to be a thing to watch out for as we move forward in this match.
Nice. Wow. SDPU coming out with a full wipe onto Nightbreak. Now they're going to try and push up onto their plat where they're going to try and lock them out. No specials online just yet. Things like the Tenta missiles could do a lot of damage if SDPU stays on this plat. But of course, Len being extra dangerous on this shark, trying to make something happen with a blaster. They get a trade. The bubble comes out just a little bit too late. Now Nightbreak's going to be running for the zone where they have several people up and painting. They have an advantage on the zone, but they're going to need to take out these shooters or else they're never going to have a chance of capping it.
That was a really unfortunate pick. That T-Tech really is Nightbreak's bread and butter for paint. They really needed that T-Tech to stay up. It looks like we're going to have an Octobrush on top mid, trying to stall out this Galaxy, not quite able to uncap that zone, and 2 players down on Nightbreak means that down to 5, this is going to be game for SDPU.
Oh, that's unfortunate for them. It felt like as soon as they got locked out, they just did not know how to get back in. Nightbreak just kind of sat back and their shooters painted the zone, because what is a Flingza going to do besides sit back and Tenta missile? You kind of just want to play out of the zone when a team wants to rely on those kinds of things. Even like the Octobrush with the Zipcaster, I guess, it's pretty telegraphed in terms of like how and when they're going to get in. So they need to all move together if they're going to want to really make the most of those specials.
Yeah, it was a rough situation for them there too, and trying to make sure that they can all get in. But I mean, you have Trip Strikes, which is really your staller entry special, and not even a cap special on that map. You can't cap the whole zone. And then on top of that, an Inkjet, kind of for the bit of an aggression. And I feel like you had to pair the missiles with those for the displacement, and they just didn't quite have all of them at the same time. So maybe that push was a little too early. But, first game of the day, you got to warm up a little bit, especially trying to get used to a little bit more of an aggressive style with the blaster and the shooters, right?
Yeah, things can be a little bit, rough when you're just, plopped into the LAN environment and you have a really important match first thing. Or even just without having the chance to play on LAN before, because things feel slightly different on LAN. They feel better, snappier. Things are just maybe not quite how you'd expect, and there's always those tournament nerves and whatnot.
Yeah.
Once things get warmed up, once we get a few games in or into round 2, I think people will be hitting their stride.
Yeah, a little bit more comfortable there. And especially, it depends on if you had timed for warm-up. Because the stations are open for warm-up in the morning, but there's so many people who also have to warm up. You might not have been able to get a place, or maybe your teammates were running late. It's just one of those things that you don't have the controlled environment you have at home. So things are a little more chaotic.
Yeah. Playing on anyone else's setup can be a little bit tricky, but teams are kind of just experimenting, having fun. Another favorite part of LANs is how you just kind of see all of the team compositions come out and people playing what they like best. A lot of people are playing with pickups, but these teams seem to be well established. They're from colleges, so they're more than used to playing with each other, and we kind of saw that in SDSU's, SDPU's play in that previous game. Or sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I love seeing things like the blaster come out because it's definitely something you don't really see in competitive online. It's hard to play into the current meta, especially. So to see it come out on so many teams on LAN is just so exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Lennon Blaster can't make something happen. This mid is way too big, and now that seems to be playing into Nightbreak's favor here. They have a lot of weapons that are just going to be stalling in mid, and that's exactly what they're going to do. The Zuka from Jorian is going to find a pick, and that is going to let SDPU move up onto the enemy plat, try and get a few more picks, and get this tower rolling.
This, in my opinion, is the dangerous part. If SDPU can get up into their spinner, I think that's going to be really hard to dislodge them with what Nightbreak has to work with and the weapons they have to work around. I think the game plan here for SDPU to really run away with this game is to get up into that spinner. And if Nightbreak can manage to keep them out of it, they honestly have a really, really good chance at winning this map.
Yeah, it looks like I think Nax and Galaxy are going to have to kind of do double duty here if they're going to want to give Nightbreak that aggressive power they need. Day with that Inkjet trying to find a pick. They're hiding inside the triple Ink Strike, not able to find one just yet. The splash wall stalling extra hard. Galaxy trying to support it with that Zipcaster, but Pigment nonetheless is going to come out on top with a triple team from SDPU.
2 down on Nightbreak means that they're now solidly in the defensive and are going to have to get a few specials to try to clear out this spinner. This is truly the hardest part of this map. Ooh, Galaxy coming in from behind for a sneaky flank. Does get spotted out by Tiger. Might not be able to get as much value as they were hoping, but is making a couple members turn to look at them. So we'll have to see if anything comes from that in a little bit. But first, let's watch Len get some funny directs.
Ooh, there's one of those funny directs. And while that flank was happening, the SDPU got slowed down, but that's not going to stop their push. The tower rolls into that final checkpoint with all 4 members alive. Tiger trying to move up into the top left. That splash wall looks like it's going to be curtains, but members of Nightbreak are trying to drop on the tower. The Ink Brush is trying to stop it. Galaxy manages to stop the tower just in time. Tiger trying to finish it off, but the tower is going to stop at 3. Huge push from SDPU, but Nightbreak is still in this.
SDPU's trip strikes a little late there, trying to shield that tower from anything coming in. Beautiful play there, but I mean, a push to 3, that's so hard to come back from, especially on this map. A lot of pushes stop up and around the second checkpoint. It's so hard to get past that third.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a death pit on the plat, but at the same time, this can be a very snowbally map. If Nightbreak's able to get aggressively onto the enemy plat and just keep members out, I think that could be huge for them. They, of course, need to be wary of all of the specials that SDPU could throw at it, like that triple Ink Strike or the Ink Zuka. But now 2 members down onto Nightbreak. The Flings is the last one alive for, for Nightbreak, and Flamingo's going to be able to find a pick, but not before they're taken out.
Yeah, some beautiful work there from SDPU, just keeping their calm and moving forward. There's still 2 minutes left in this game, so Nightbreak definitely has an opportunity, but I think they're going to need to move a little bit faster than they have been so far, especially with 2 players down, now needing to wait for those respawns. They have to clear their spinner, then they have to get mid, then they have to get enemy spinner. They have a lot of work ahead of them.
Yeah, oh my goodness, and yet another Zuka pick, this time coming out of Pigment, and that means that the tower's going to roll into the end. It looks like Galaxy trying to stop it yet again. They're not able to find the pick. Jorian's trying to get that tower to the goal, and they find it. The Inkjet, not enough. SDPU just powering through. They have such aggressive power. They just keep pushing back resiliently. Even if they get taken down, they're on the enemy plat so quickly and leading the way for the tower. I like how far ahead they were playing and just how, I guess, objectively based they're playing. They're just playing keep away from the tower and doing it so well.
Yeah, what's really interesting to watch, too, is a lot of teams, when they're pushing the objective, are just a little bit behind. Like, their aggro players are way up in creating that block, creating that wall to create space to move into. And then you have your objective, like tower, especially slow moving, that's a little bit too far behind and often gets picked out by flanks or something. And it was really interesting to watch. SDPU had all of their players and closer to objective than I would normally expect to see. They were pretty well keeping pace with it while still staying in front of it and keeping everyone away. It was really fun to watch.
Yeah. Lily, are you an objective player or a subjective player?
I think I'm a pedantic player.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I find issue with that.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm definitely an objective player. I think you could say I'm the objective player.
You are the objective player.
What about you? Subjective?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I feel like you would think everything's subjective.
Yeah, things are subjective. Just like this question.
This question is quite subjective.
Dang. I think we created a paradox.
This is my favorite part too, being able to see like the cameras of the teams. It's so fun. It's so fun. You get to see everyone's faces. It's just a beautiful experience.
I still have the mask filter that I wrote "I heart Tentamissiles" on and held up to the camera at Shine.
Oh my god.
It's still sitting in my drawer.
Of
That's
course.
my favorite part. You just can show the camera things, and everyone makes silly jokes and waves, and it pops off and has a good time, and you know, everyone's just having a great time and shows so much personality. But Game 3 is what we're going to be going into next, and this time it's going to be Clamblitz on Mako Mart, a close range cluster something. And there's going to be a lot of, it's a bloodbath. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it's a cluster heck.
Cluster truck.
Yeah, it's
My
definitely
favorite
a bit
game.
of a mess. How do you feel about it? Do you like it?
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's super fast paced and like very unforgiving. You get wiped, it can be very bad for you, but it's, you know, it's the fastest paced clams map in the game that I think people like, and
Fair.
it's a really neat dynamic.
Yeah, it's definitely got a different way of attacking and defending that most others don't have, right? It's really interesting.
It reminds me of just like a basketball game. It's
Yeah.
like that fast. Like as soon as you go 3 down, the other team's already moving down the courts and trying to get the power clam in. You let them into like 2 key positions and it's over. You know, it's like a game of don't get wiped, a game of take key positions and hold them, and not so much a game of run in with an invincibility special and jump in.
Yeah, I mean, a part of the really fun thing about this map too is running things like soda. Like you don't want to run cooler in a lot of maps, because I mean cooler is great, but oftentimes there's not a lot of ways to utilize it. But I feel like on Mako Mart, you run cooler, you dunk. Most of the time when you're dunking, you're dead.
Yeah.
And then you're back 2 seconds later.
Exactly.
It's incredible. I don't think we'll be seeing any cooler from these 2 teams, unfortunately. Maybe later today.
We may be seeing something a little bit later today, but without the coolers, we're going to be seeing similar stuff. This time, the machine coming out instead of that Octobrush. Interesting. I thought this might be a Octobrush sort of map, but Nightbreak finds that first pick this time. 3 members on the stack. They're going to need to watch out for the blaster. They do. They managed to take the pick on them, and now Nightbreak has the advantage. Trying to paint up mid, trying to move over on that right side, get a push started. This is looking so much better for them. They need to make a power clam, and they can get huge points on the board here.
Really interesting to see that Nightbreak has switched to a much more aggro comp than they've run the past couple games. I mean, the Tetra, the T-Tech, the Sloshing Machine, these are all closer range, fast-paced weapons that should be able to make really good use of Mako Mart's terrain.
Yeah, and they've been doing that so far, but they seem to be playing a little bit patient here. They're not exactly sure what to do or where the key spots are to push. Day ends up getting back up. Blaster on that stack, extremely dangerous, and now the power clam comes in from Jarian. Pigment gets 7 extra clams on the board, and this is going to be massive with Tiger up on that top left. That is such a huge position, trying to keep the enemy out. Day's Inkjet is going to try and stop them. They find a very nice pick. The counter is going to go down all the way to 44. Pretty big push. Jarian trying to extend it a little bit longer. That's going to get them picked off, though. Huge push coming out, but it looks like it's starting to come to a close here.
Yeah, pretty good stop here.
Oh, my God.
Goodness gracious. It looks like things are continuing a little bit more. Going to get a full wipeout. And SDPU is just mowing them down. They're going to have to back up a little bit to get some clams now, but, I mean, they still have full control of mid to work with.
Yeah, and with all that paint control, it's going to be very hard for Nightbreak to get back in. Bernie trying to move up onto this left side and find a pick, but they're challenged by 2 members. They do manage to find a trade, though, but that's going to go probably in SDPU's favor, the even trade. The Power Clam tries to go in, but they're going to need more than that just to break the penalty. So Nightbreak has a bit of an advantage here in mid, but Pigment snipes the Zuka out of the air, finds yet another huge Zuka picks coming out. Now the Power Clam is going to come in again. More clams on the board, a whole 10 clams. clams. That's nearly enough for a knockout. SDPU is running in towards the basket. They're going to get the counter down to 17. More clams coming back in from mid, but nobody has them just yet. Len's bubble is under basket. Durian trying to make it in time. There's no clams left on the field, though.
Yeah, a little bit of a stall there. They were able to just run Nightbreak down. Even if they didn't have the full clam control they need to knock out, just maintaining that aggressive presence and that pressure is so powerful and so oppressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And part of keeping the enemy team dead on this map is that you can just keep them locked in their spawn, and all the clams will spawn in mid. The counter's down to 2. They need to be careful of Tiger or a Pigment running in with the clam. They throw it, and they get the 3-pointer.
That's the dangerous part of that map. You respawn so quickly, and mid is so small, you can actually respawn, run in, grab clams, and toss them in before the basket closes. Beautiful, beautiful work from SDPU that whole set. Len just harassing them with that blaster and that bubble combo. Beautiful work from them. And just, man, it was a great set to open up the day on.
Yeah, absolutely. SDPU looking very strong. I believe that 8 teams will be making it out of this redemption bracket. I think it is it 1 team per pool or 2 teams per pool? I can't recall.
I believe it's 1.
Okay. Yeah, it's pools of 4, right?
Pools of 3.
3, okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yes, pools of 3. Yeah, so only 1 team is making it out of these pools. So teams kind of need to win here if they want to really make it to the top cut. Also, Clam Blitz Mako, my favorite blaster map in the game. Len agrees. Len agrees.
As a support player, I hate you.
Yes.
As your friend, I love you. As a person who likes to watch competitive Splatoon, I love you. So I think that means I love you more than I hate you, and that's fine. Yeah, Blaster there is so annoying to fight, especially if you're a short-range painter. It's just like, okay, where can I stand safely? Can you just, like, circle the parts on the map I can stand safely, and I'll just stay there. You don't have to. It's fine. I'll just stay there.
You kind of got to run at it, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just run at it. You got to go fast and not take your time.